Hello, welcome. This is the Resilient Rooster. I'm back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today I'm going to be showcasing Metalfoes True Draco. This deck's been around in the circuit for a while, and I felt like I need to do like a showcase on how the deck works. I'm not the best player when it comes to Metalfoes True Draco, but I know some of the basic combos. So this is like one of the generic lists out there for Metalfoes True Draco, so I'm gonna give it a shot and let's see how it goes. In this first replay, I'm playing against dinosaurs and I get to go first. My opponent doesn't have a hand trap, so I can go off on my own accord. Whenever you're playing True Draco Metalfoes, you want to destroy your Metalfoes cards to get your Metalfoes combination set. That way, if you have access to a Dragonic diagram, you're able to pop your combination and get even more card advantage. I was able to draw the terraforming from the extra card from Electrum, and now I can just search all my True Draco cards. I only have one Dragonic diagram, but you're able to basically fusion summon to make the Berthelium, and Berthelium can bounce back your Dragonic diagram. That means that you can use it again and search the last piece, which is Masterpiece. So once you get your True King's Return and Masterpiece, you want to summon the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. So I cleared off my extra monster zone so I can make Absolute Odd Eyes Dragon. Now during my opponent's turn, I'm able to have maybe 3-4 disruptions. It depends on what they do. So they got 3 monsters on the field, the True King and the dinosaur. So I tribute summon, and the True King return destroy the monster, and my Odd Eyes is gonna basically bounce a card back. My Masterpiece can also pop a card, so I should have popped it before they returned their pet t-shirt on, but I don't think it would have mattered. I was able to stop all their plays. So now during my turn, all I have to do is basically Pendulum Summon and hopefully attack them for a game. So I was able to get the Rescue Hamster, and I have totally enough to attack for a game. In a lot of decks that I've seen, they don't run any hand traps in the main, and the reason why is I'm thinking that they want to get as much consistent as they can, and hopefully you can play through their hand traps. My opponent sort of misplayed with some of their hand traps. They should have waited to use the Ash on the Rescue Rabbit, because now I'm able to basically get a lot of advantage. In this game, I don't think I had access to a diagram, but I did have access to basically a big Pendulum Summon. So I was able to Pendulum Summon 5 cards, and this basically makes it to where I can set up my field to have at least some sort of negations. So I made the Alcahest, I made the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, and I basically have at least 2 negation. It's not the best one, but this is probably one of the best fields that you can have if you don't open up the diagram. My opponent, they try to use the Alistair, but I'll just took it, that way they can't fusion summon with it. So I was getting very lucky in this game since I was able to stop all of their plays. There's a lot of powerful cards in this deck. You run cards like Rescue Rabbit, Rescue Hamster, Astrograph Sorcerer, and Dragonic Diagram. They all basically allowed you to extend your plays. And in this one, I had a lot of good cards. I did get Gambled with the Rescue Rabbit, but I had the Dragonic Diagram and Astrograph, which helps me go into my next play, which is if I can't make a big board, hopefully I can get at least 1 Masterpiece on board. And that was what I was hoping for, so I Pendulum Summon, that way I can make the Berthelium to bounce back the Dragonic Diagram so that I can use it again. So right now, it kind of sucked that my opponent had the driver in their hand, so they only had 3 cards after my turn ended. And their hand looked super bricky, but it was a good thing that I had the Masterpiece since it basically sealed the deal. The True Draco Return destroyed the Rescue or the Fairy Tale Snow, and now all I have to do is make a big Pendulum Summon. If I'm able to get a big Pendulum Summon off, I'm able to attack for a game since they don't have 7 cards in the grave to activate Fairy Tale Snow. One downside of not running any hand trap is if you're playing against a 60 card deck and they get that grass off, it's super hard to come back. My opponent, they had the grass and they were able to mill basically 3 wolves, and at that point they got so much advantage. I'm basically playing down now since they were able to make the Curious to get, more extra monster zones, and now they're able to have access to getting their 2 Omegas and any other plays that they can do with their graveyard. They basically have 2 decks. So they sniped my Rescue Rabbit, so now one of my power play is gone. And I'm pretty sure they're able to basically summon another Omega. They didn't use this Omega. I'm pretty sure they were waiting until it was my turn to use it. That way they can return one of their banished cards. I'm pretty sure if they had the Bujin MMR through, they would have played it, but I'm not sure if they ran it in their deck. Otherwise, they could have maybe add an Ash back, and there would have been no way that I could have got over their board. And the hand I had, it was just Metalfoes cards in general, so there wasn't really much that I could have done. So they won this battle. In this rematch duel, I get to go first this time. My opponent, they did have one hand trap, but the problem of having a hand trap is the best time to use it. And I think the best time to use it was probably on the diagram, if I had one. They did Ash my Astrograph, but since Astrograph is a once per turn card, I'm able to basically get more of my resource back. So I had enough to make the Electrum, and once I get Electrum, I have to hope that I can draw into a terraforming or a diagram. And in this case, I drew into a terraforming. So I got access to the diagram, and now diagram can pop cards to get my other scale. So now I can place my 2 scales and basically go off. I Pendulum Summon, and I had the Metalfoes Fusion. That way I could bounce the diagram back and get my masterpiece by searching through the diagram. Sorry, tongue twister. So now this field is sort of decent. I have Disruption on my opponent's turn. They did open up the Cobra engine or the Predaplant engine, but I was able to put a stop to it by summoning Masterpiece and getting rid of all their cards. I probably should attribute the True King's Return instead of the Metalfoes combination, but I don't think it matters as much since they didn't have a follow-up play. And it's pretty much a game at this point since I'm able to Pendulum Summon all my cards and hopefully attack for a game. I use my True Draco Heritage to summon the second Masterpiece, which is basically the last nail in the coffin. Summon my 2 cards and attack for game. That's it for the replays. If you enjoy it, please click the like button. If you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a great day.